4 mods for the Jeep Gladiator. These are must-haves. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob Motive JT. Out this morning, cruising around in the Jeep Gladiator, and I got to thinking about the mods and things that I've done to the truck. And if I could only do 4, what are the top 4 mods for the Jeep Gladiator? So I thought I'd run through those real quick, give you guys an idea, at least from my experience, what the top 4 mods are. So first off, we're going to start with wheels and tires. You know, I had a bit of a conundrum when I put these wheels and tires on because I had considered lifting the Jeep Gladiator. I thought I would lift it and then put even bigger wheels and tires on. But I decided I didn't want to mess with the geometry of the suspension because I've done it before on my Toyota Tacoma and I was never happy. I got a different ride, a rougher ride. It wasn't as comfortable. I had vibration issues that I had to deal with. Just crazy little things that I didn't want to mess with the Jeep Gladiator because the Jeep Gladiator is so awesome. So what I decided to do was put on different wheels and tires for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to raise the truck a little bit, and I could achieve that by going with a taller or bigger tire. And secondly, I wanted to change the aesthetics of it. Make the Jeep Gladiator look a little bit more aggressive, a little bit meaner. I didn't really dig those chrome or alloy wheels that come with the truck. So I went with a fuel wheel. It is all black, and I really love it on the truck. I think especially with the white color that I have, my Jeep Gladiator, that it looks really awesome. Black and white together, one of the best combinations you can do. So I went with the fuel wheels, and then I paired them with a 285/70 R18 tire. I did decide to go with the Falcon Wild Peaks on this truck because in my experience, the Wild Peaks are the best ones that I've had. Of course, I went through all the reviews and stuff before I got these. Took a leap because I've had a couple of other versions that weren't exactly what I expected them to be, either from a traction standpoint or from a comfort or a ride quality standpoint. The Falcon Wild Peak AT3Ws have worked out really well, and I love the look on the truck. Now, the other thing that I want to mention in changing the wheels and tires is the offset. I went with a negative offset. I think I can't recall. I think it's a -12. There's videos on the channel about it if you want to know specifically. But what I did is I moved the wheel out, which in essence moved the tire out, right? To give a little bit more aggressive look, even beyond just changing the wheels and tires. And I think it looks really good on the Jeep Gladiator. Number 2, window tint. You know, window tint serves purposes all over the place. You know, window tint has a few different purposes. Obviously, it cuts down on the glare that comes into the truck, keeps it a little bit cooler inside, which is really nice when you live in South Texas where it gets really, really hot. Also protects the interior a little bit. Keeps all those damaging sun rays from coming in and drying out the plastics or fading the seats, stuff like that. Plus, it makes the truck look even more aggressive. You might be able to tell I really like aggressive looking trucks. Window tint does that. I went with a 20. It's not legal, but it's the best look on the truck in my opinion because it matches as closely as I could get the tint that comes from the factory on the rear windows. Tint is a must-have. Probably should be number 1 on my list. Number 3, the Sunrider soft top. You know, I had the Freedom panels. Those are, of course, the 2 hard panels that come on the truck. But the problem with those is that you have to do something with them. You know, they're cumbersome to handle, and it's not like they're heavy. It's not like anybody can't take them off. But the problem is they're awkward, and they're made out of a composite plastic, I believe. Imagine pulling one of those off and dropping it on the ground. You know, catch it just right on the corner and ruin the whole top. Those things are not cheap. So now you have to buy a replacement. I didn't want to screw with that, and I also didn't want to mess around with having to stow them somewhere. I mean, it is a truck, I realize. I could throw them in the back. But then, if you don't have a tonneau cover, you get to worry about somebody taking them, somebody relieving you of them. I didn't want to have to worry about that. I do happen to have a tonneau cover, but then I have to worry about securing them around, or securing them in the back rather, so they don't bounce around all over the place. Again, I wouldn't want to damage them and have to replace them or create some sort of a leak because I chipped off a corner somewhere. The Sunrider soft top, pretty easy to put on, not the cheapest mod out there. It'll cost you somewhere between $700 and $900, but it makes life so much easier when you want to go open air. You just unlatch the 2 latches in the front, flip it back, and you are good to go. Now, if you get somewhere and it starts to rain, or maybe it's getting colder outside, or you're going to park somewhere, you don't have to screw around grabbing the freedom panels, reinstalling. I mean, who wants to do that? I don't want to do that. So the Sunrider soft top was the answer for me. I love it on the truck. It just makes going semi-topless much more easy. Next up, and this is the last one, and this has to do with sound. I thought about putting an exhaust on the truck. I've had exhaust on 6-cylinder vehicles before and was always disappointed. Never could find one that didn't drone or wasn't tinny sounding. So that really wasn't an option for me. So I started looking into cold air intakes because you can get decent sound out of a cold air intake. And I found one. The Air Raid cold air intake on this truck. And you can probably hear it in the background. I'll give it a little bit of gas right here. I mean, it's awesome. Gives you a nice throaty little grumble when you want to get on the gas. It's pretty quiet otherwise. It's not like you hear it too much when you're just driving around. A little bit. Again, you can probably hear it in the background when I get on the gas a little bit. I'm going to make a turn here, right here. So I'm going to give it a little bit of gas. I'll be quiet. That's the sound that you get normally, just driving normally, not stomping on the gas from the cold air intake. And I love it. It has scratched that itch, that volume or sound itch that I had. Instead of putting on a different exhaust, which I'm sure I would have been disappointed with, I have the Air Raid cold air intake, and it gives me the volume or the voice that I wanted the Jeep Gladiator to have. Anyway, those are the top 4, in my opinion, must-have mods for the Jeep Gladiator. The minimum that you can do to increase your Jeep Gladiator ownership, both from volume and function in the form of tint and the Sunrider soft top. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Do you have any of these? Do you like them? Or were you disappointed? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. Rob Motive, all about my 2021 Toyota Tacoma. And Rob Motive FST, all about full-size trucks. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to click that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. And do me a favor, smash that subscribe button on the way out. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.